Good morning, everyone. Boys and girls, and I'm so glad that you're here today, and we're going to share a story about some people in the Bible. It's in this book of Genesis, which is our first book in the Bible. And we're going to concentrate on a word called faith, F-A-I-T-H. Spell it. Good job. Well, this is a story about Abraham and Sarah. And Abraham was really an afraid kind of person. But he believed in God. He wanted God to help him. And so what he found out is that God keeps promises. And he tells him to look up into the sky and count the stars. Have you ever gone outside at night on a starry night in the summer and tried to count them and then had some of them fall down? That's when you make a wish. But this is the story of Abraham and Sarah. God loved Abraham, and Abraham loved God. And God had told Abraham, "Go where I send you, and I will bless you." So Abraham did what God told him to do. He took his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot, and they packed up all of their things, and they went to where God led them. When they arrived in the land of Canaan, God said, "I will give you this land, and I'll give you a big family, and they will love me and worship me. And I will be with you, and I will bless you, and others will see that you love me." I wonder what it feels like to move to a new place. Have you ever had to move to a new place, to go to a new school or a different church? It's kind of different, isn't it? I'm going to continue the story with some more questions. Sometimes families have to move because somebody gets a new job or they buy a new house, and you move from neighborhood to neighborhood, and you make new friends, and you move sometimes all across the United States. I did that once. It was kind of scary. And so Sarah and Abram were immigrants. They lived in Haran, where their family had always lived. They knew everyone, and everyone knew them. And they lived the lives that they'd always lived. And they did work with their families as they had always done. And they were very comfortable there, just like you might be in Oxford. One day, God said to Abram and Sarai, "I want you to move to a new country. I've got a new home for you there. I've got a new life for you. I've got work for you to do. I want you to love your new country and work there just by being there and doing good. You will make everyone's lives better." Abram and Sarai must have been very worried about moving. It's hard to leave what you know, but they left right away to their new country, the land of Canaan. Like all grim immigrants, they must have felt very strange at first. They must have felt very alone. Have you ever felt that way when you went to a new place? They must have worried and wondered what would happen to them. When they got to their new country, God met them there, and God said to them, "I'm going to give you a family. They'll live in this new country, and they'll call it their own. They'll make a home for themselves here. Before you're starting a new family and a new land, I'm going to give you new names. Abram, you will be called Abraham, and Sarah, you will be called Sarai." So Abraham and Sarah started all over in their new country, like many immigrants do today. Maybe you have immigrants in your class at school. Maybe you have an immigrant who is your neighbor. They had new names, they had a new family, and before long, they began to feel very comfortable. Have you ever heard someone move from another country speaking a different language? Yeah, it's different. You don't always understand. Do you know the name of the language they were speaking? Was it French or German or Spanish? Look around you in your school or in your neighborhood. for anyone who may have moved from another country. Ask them where they came from and what was life like there. And then think, how can I help others to feel at home in their new country? What would you do? It's kind of exciting and scary at the same time. But this is what faith is. Faith that God will lead you where you need to go and help you to do the job that you need to do. And I hope that you have some big questions about what is faith, F-A-I-T-H, with your families. It's something that grows inside of us, and it gets bigger and bigger as we grow bigger and bigger and older and older. So be kind to everyone. That's your job.